Albert Pujols wins another award. Former Cardinals pitching coach Mike Maddux has signed with another team. And the latest rumors on some big free agents like Carlos Rodon, Aaron Judge, and Justin Verlander. Are the Cardinals interested in any of them? All on today's episode of Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford. I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter at JD Sports Radio. Follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked on Cardinals your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment so you can interact with us. Hit that notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. I've been seeing some slacking in the likes on the YouTube videos. What's going on? I'm not getting dislikes, but I'm not getting as many likes, but I'm getting thousands of you guys watching these videos. Hit that little like button, man. Does wonders for the show, I promise you. This is the show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Albert Pujols is the gift that just keeps on giving, isn't he? Which is appropriate this time of year with Thanksgiving tomorrow. Now, before we get too far into things today, I do hope that all of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And, of course, tonight being Thanksgiving Eve, one of the biggest party nights of the year. So be safe doing whatever it is you're going to get into. It's also what I like to call amateur night. There are two nights that are very much amateur night when it comes to going out in the public. It is tonight, Thanksgiving Eve, and then it's New Year's Eve. All right. So a lot of dudes and gals are going to be out at the bars and the clubs, acting a little bit wild. So just be aware, try to show some restraint if somebody's all sloppy and rubs you the wrong way or accidentally pours a drink on your shoe. No need to get into fights and hulk out on people who don't know how to have a good time without getting all mouthy and rude and, just a pain in the butt, really is what I'm getting at. So just be smart. Okay, back to Albert. PSA is over. Now, in case you missed it, Albert Pujols ended up winning the Stan Musial Lifetime Achievement Award for Sportsmanship on Saturday. Tremendous award. And then yesterday, it was announced that he and Astros pitcher Justin Verlander were named the 2022 Comeback Player of the Year award winners in the American League and the National League, respectively, by Major League Baseball. Now, Pujols became the third Cardinals player to actually win this award. Do you remember who the other two were? Anybody? Chris Carpenter, 2009, and Lance Berkman, 2011. Now, Verlander becomes the first Astros player to win it. The honor has been given annually by Major League Baseball since 2005 to one player in each league who has reemerged on the field during the season. The winners are determined following a vote by the 30 club beat reporters from MLB.com. So Albert, in his 22nd and final MLB season, gave us all sorts of memories, and he did it in a relatively short amount of time, considering that he didn't really get going until after the All-Star break. And that's when he became one of the most dangerous hitters in all of baseball, rivaling Aaron Judge. Remember? Many categories. It was Judge, and then it was Albert in the second half of the season. He mashed 18 second-half home runs on his way to becoming the fourth player in history to hit 700 career home runs, joining Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth. And the only person that hit more home runs than him in the second half, Aaron Judge, who was crazy and hit 29 of them. In total, Albert hits 24 home runs on the year, his most since popping 31 back in 2016. He posted an 895 OPS, his highest since 2011 when he was with the Redbirds. That was his last year with them. And I just hope Albert has enough room on his mantle for all of this stuff. I mean, he's gotten plenty of awards over the years. 2001 NL Rookie of the Year, 3-time MVP, 6 Silver Sluggers, 2 Gold Gloves, a pair of World Series titles, 11-time All-Star. He won the 2003 NL batting title. Bottom line, Albert Pujols, pretty darn good at the sport of baseball. And one thing that I love about Albert is the fact that he never had a bad year with the Cardinals. Every single year that he was a member of the Cardinals, he was always a stud. When he had that STL on his hat, stud. Goes to L.A., couple of decent years, but most of them not that great, just kind of good, especially for Albert. But as a Cardinal, the dude was amazing. As for the future for Albert, Derek Gould from the Post-Dispatch and STLtoday.com wrote a piece today talking about how Albert's 10-year personal services agreement with the Angels will begin soon, where he'll be paid $1 million a year from LA. Now, this was part of the free agent deal that he signed with them after that 2011 season, and it's the last of its kind. I was unaware of this, but because 2012, the Players Union and Major League Baseball agreed to ban the personal services contracts, in part because of the confusion they create if the player gets traded or does not finish his career in that same jersey, which is exactly what we have going on with Albert Pujols right now. Fans are wondering if this agreement that he made with the Angels was going to keep Albert from doing things with the Cardinals following his playing career. Gould points out that Albert will be eligible for the fans to vote him into the Cardinals Hall of Fame in 2026. His induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame is likely to follow in July of 2028, and somewhere in that time frame, Pujols' number 5 jersey will be retired by the Cardinals. And according to this article, there is nothing in the contract that prohibits him being honored by the Cardinals or participating in those events. That, according to a source with knowledge of the contract's language. That's all in Derek Gould's article. So that's good. He will have to do stuff for the Angels, and Gould goes into depth in this article about all the stuff that might entail. So what I'm recommending is you go read it and check it out for yourself. Go to stltoday.com and then go to the sports section, Cardinals, go under Derek Gould. Amazing follow. You guys will love him, not only reading the articles, but on Twitter too. So, but that's good news, that Albert will be free to do things that we want him to do in St. Louis. Now, Verlander also won a ton of hardware over the years. 2006 AL Rookie of the Year award. He's the 2011 AL MVP, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 2 World Series titles, a 9-time All-Star. Verlander also earned the AL Pitching Triple Crown in 2011, owns a pair of ERA titles. One of the top free agents this offseason, too, along with Aaron Judge and Carlos Rodon, among others. But where are they going to go? Are the Cardinals a landing spot for any of these guys? I'm going to pass along the latest rumors about them next on Locked On Cardinals. Now, if you've ever thought about securing your home with home security but have been putting it off, you want to listen up, because right now, Locked On Cardinals listeners can order the #1 rated SimpliSafe home security system for 50% off. This is their biggest offer of the year, and you don't want to miss out on it. With the holiday season upon us, it is a fact that property crimes like burglaries and package theft spike nationally. So you want to give your home and your family the security they need and deserve. And why not go with the company that has been named the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report for a 3rd year in a row? That would be SimpliSafe. They've got whole home security with advanced sensors for every room, window, and door, HD security cameras for inside and out, smarter ways to detect motion that alert you only when a threat is real. They got you covered when it comes to detecting fires, floods, and other threats to your home. 24/7 professional monitoring service. Costs, how much do you think? A lot, right? No. Costs less than $1 a day. Less than $1 a day. That's less than half the price of ADT's traditional professionally installed system. So don't miss your chance to save big on the only security system we recommend at the Locked On Network. Go get you one. 50% off any new SimpliSafe system at simplisafe.com/LockedOnMLB today. This is their biggest discount of the year, so don't wait and let it pass you by. simplisafe.com/LockedOnMLB. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, there have been a couple of deals that have been made this offseason already, mostly trades. Seattle and Toronto had that one for Teoscar Hernandez. That was a decent one. The Angels involved in one yesterday that sent Brewers outfielder Hunter Renfroe to L.A. for 3 pitchers. But none of the big names have gone anywhere just yet. We're still in the courting period, if you will. So here's some of the latest gossip that is making the rounds in Major League Baseball circles. The biggest bat still, AL MVP Aaron Judge, and the San Francisco Giants apparently are trying to woo him and have used Golden State Warrior superstar Steph Curry to sway him to the West Coast. NBC Sports Bay Area reports that members of the Giants front office and manager Gabe Kapler had dinner with Judge and his agent on Monday. The Giants also put Judge in touch with Curry's camp with the hope that the two superstars could connect as Judge weighs his decision. Curry, who has spent his entire career with the Warriors, can offer the unique perspective on what it's like to be a star athlete in San Francisco. MLB.com's John Paul Morosi expects the Giants to make a formal offer to Judge within the week, perhaps setting up the slugger to make his decision sooner rather than later. The Yankees already made him an offer, and I still find it hard to believe that they're going to let him get away, that they would let him walk to anyone. But anything is possible. Again, we were just talking about Albert Pujols and the Angels. I never thought I'd see Albert leave the Cardinals and jump over to the West Coast, but it happened. The Giants are also believed to be interested in outfielder Brandon Nimmo and Cody Bellinger. So if things fall through with Aaron Judge, they've got kind of a backup plan in place that they will go after those guys next. The Cardinals have never really been someone in on Aaron Judge, as much as we would love to fantasize about an outfield with Aaron Judge in it. His price is expected to shatter records, but one name that people have linked to St. Louis is left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon, who was most recently with the Giants and now has been linked with, not the Cardinals, the Texas Rangers. Yeah. John Morosi says the Rangers have been among the more serious suitors for Carlos Rodon. He says the Mets and Dodgers also have Rodon on their radar. Now, the Rangers have already been linked to the Mets' Jacob deGrom, which when we talked to Sully last week, Sully thinks that's where deGrom's going to end up, that he's not going to stay in New York, that he's going to go to Texas. The team already traded to get Jake Odorizzi and re-signed Martin Perez. They spent a crap ton last year to get Corey Seager from the Dodgers and Marcus Semien from the Blue Jays, and they still sucked. They still finished 26 games under 500 last year despite spending all that money. They were in fourth place in the AL West. They only were ahead of Oakland. All right. So once again, it shows that just because you go out and you spend a bunch of money doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the results that you want. So it didn't work out last year. It appears the Rangers are ready to go all in, at least on another pitcher, whether it's deGrom or Rodon, or I would be surprised if it was both, but they're going for an ace. The Mets are trying to keep deGrom, but if he does leave, they certainly will pivot to Carlos Rodon. And if also, did you guys hear this one, that they talked to Justin Verlander? They had a Zoom meeting with him last week. So if deGrom goes away, then, the Mets are ready to go with either a Verlander or a Rodon. So you see how they're stacking these guys up in case one falls and they don't land them. They've got the backup plans. In the NL Central, we've got rumors that former Cardinals second baseman Colton Wong could be the next to be shipped away by the Brewers. I've seen chat about Corbin Burns and Willie Adames possibly being moved as well, but on MLB.com, it says those moves are highly unlikely. Morosi also expects the Cubs to land one of those marquee free agent shortstop, which includes Trea Turner, Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts, and Dansby Swanson. Now, many think that Turner will go to Philadelphia and that Turner is the Phillies' top priority, which makes a lot of sense, right? They have an opening at shortstop. They got money to burn. Why not? Correa is still linked to the Twins, and Minnesota reportedly wants to bring him back, while the Dodgers also thinking about Carlos Correa if Turner decides to leave LA. Many think that Turner would like to play on the East Coast. So if he does go to Philly or somewhere else, Correa might be the guy the Dodgers go after instead. So a lot of fun stuff, that's the hot stove, and we like to talk about this. But unfortunately, if you notice, none of these reports have the Cardinals involved or even sniffing any of these big-name free agents. And I told you in the beginning, the one thing I was afraid of is that these big-market bullies would swoop in and kind of knock the Cardinals out of the way, and then the Cardinals will be left with the crap left over if they weren't careful. Now, the good news to take away from this is the Cardinals' top priority, which they've stated many times, is the catching position. There has been little to no news about any of the catchers. Contreras, Vasquez, trades involving Sean Murphy or the guys from Toronto, Kirk or Jansen. Hasn't been much going on there. So I'm assuming these big teams have catcher a little lower in the pecking order. And depending on what happens with these bigger names, they will then make their pitch to those catchers. So if I'm the Cardinals, I'm doing my best to grab one of them before these bigger teams get around to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, while these other teams are distracted with Aaron Judge and Jacob deGrom and all these shortstops, the Cardinals, who I'm assuming don't have much interest in any of them, should be courting whatever catcher it is that they want. Whoever's their number one guy, that's the guy they need to be talking to right now. But that's just me. That's what I would be doing. Former pitching coach Mike Maddux has changed his tune and is going to coach next year. I'll tell you where he's going to go next on Locked On Cardinals. Now, where you should be going next is betonline.net, your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from football to basketball to soccer and esports. They've got it all at betonline.net. I've been loving the World Cup action. I can't say that I'm a huge soccer fan. I like soccer. I've always liked soccer. I played soccer, but I'm more drawn to other sports, specifically baseball and football and basketball and hockey. But World Cup's something different, man. That's a lot of fun. So if you want to bet on that, they've got you covered at betonline.net. They're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix on whichever sport you're interested in. Thanksgiving Day football tomorrow. Phenomenal tradition. And we've got 3 games. Bills at Lions in game 1. Giants at the Cowboys in game 2. Patriots at the Vikings in game 3. In theory, you think the Bills should roll the Lions, right? Should happen, but they've lost 2 of their last 3. Allen's still nursing that elbow injury. NFC East battle with the Giants and the Cowboys. The boys looked real good last week, stomping the Vikings in Minnesota. Hard not to bet on them, right? But then you look at it, they're at home, but they're 10-point favorites, a 10-point spread in a division game against the Giants, who have a good record, have been a good team this year. It's a lot of points to give up. And then you got the Vikings home against the Patriots, 2.5-point favorites. And I've just never been a fan of going up against a Bill Belichick defense. I don't bet against them. So you decide what you want to do. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. Bet online, where the game starts. Once again, former Cardinals pitching coach Mike Maddux, who reportedly wanted something different and a change of pace, which is why he didn't want to return with the Cardinals, has agreed to become the new pitching coach for the Texas Rangers. This also follows hitting coach Jeff Albert deciding not to come back and instead became the director of hitting for the New York Mets. The Cardinals said they did not fire either of them, yet both of them have decided to continue coaching elsewhere. Sure feels like they got let go to me, but instead they were told that they left on their own accord. But whatever, new blood, new voices were probably needed, and life moves on. Before we shut things down today, I do once again want to thank you guys. I want to say thank you to all of you who take time out of your day when you can to listen to the podcast or watch the YouTube video. Heck, some of you even do both, and you guys are awesome. Double awesome in my book. We have seen tremendous growth on the channel and the podcast since August, and things have skyrocketed this offseason. And what's great is the Cardinals haven't even made a major move yet. So I'll be excited when something does happen, when I can announce that and bring that to you to see what the numbers will be. But from the bottom of my heart, I just wanted to say thanks for all the love and support that I've gotten through Twitter, YouTube comments, emails. It's been an absolute pleasure doing the show with all of you. I love the interaction we've all built between each other on all the videos, and we certainly have plans for more improvements on the look and the sound of the show moving forward into 2023, but also content-wise, more guests, more prospects. You guys seem to really like it when we get these prospects on. I'll try to get as many of these guys and players to jump on and be a part of this so that you can get to know them not only as the guys on the field through stats and, how they perform, but, as people and as humans. That's the real story about these guys. And I think it's cool to get to know them. But just know this, that you are very much appreciated by everyone involved with this show, with this podcast, and, the Locked On Network in general. We love each and every one of you. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast, the biggest stories of the day, plus instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. As always, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. You are the best fans in baseball for a reason. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.